Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. I am here at the World Trade Center. Since 1987, they have been dedicated to educate, connect, inform, and advocate members across Colorado, those involved in international trade. I'm here with Karen, who is the president. Thanks so much for joining us here, Karen. Let's start off, first of all, before we discuss some of the services you all provide here. Share with me a little bit about yourself, how it is that you got involved in this organization.
I got involved really as a student when I was in college, a long time ago. But I was involved in an organization called ISEC, which is a group I'm on the board of today. And basically, they find work exchange programs for students all over the world. And I actually worked with a trainee that came from Spain. And she took me to all of these events with international visitors or students living here. And I just fell in love with the cross-cultural interaction. And from there, my college degree was international business. And then I'm still involved with the group today, and it really led to my career of international business.
Interesting. Let me ask you this. I mean, this idea of World Trade Center, I mean, we can trace it all the way back to 1939, where they coined the term world peace through trade. It really evolved into completion, if you will, and something that was materialized in 1973 with the completion of the World Trade Center in New York City by David Rockefeller. Many services they provided back then, but regardless of what location, almost the World Trade Center can become a symbol of international trade. Is that what you find?
Absolutely. We wholeheartedly believe that it's a symbol. We see that having a World Trade Center in Denver shows that Denver is a global city. That's exactly why we're working to build a new campus for Denver, a global campus that would have global restaurants, retail, co-working space, corporate offices, housing, hotel, very large city block, very accessible to right on the light rail to DIA.
That is amazing. 1987, the World Trade Center here in Denver was founded. Basically, they began as a focal point, resources for the Colorado businesses, the Colorado business community. Is that still the goal today?
It sure is, and this hub that we're going to be building will even make it more so. So we're going to continue offering new services in the interim until the new campus is built in about 2018-19 timeframe. But we certainly offer services on a regular basis, such as education and connecting our members here locally to international opportunities. And we also help companies learn themselves how to apply what we teach. So we might actually go into some of our member companies and do something that we call a gap analysis. It's like a small audit of your international business practices. And when we do that, we find out where there's some gaps, and we try to help them close those up. And since we teach the subjects on an international trade, then it's easy for us to help them apply what we teach on a regular basis for their particular case.
Like you said, basically, this is a hub of learning, which basically the first key service that you provide is that of education, to educate. Share with me, basically, what are some of the tools that you provide for the members?
One of the new services we're offering are some small interest groups within our network. So we're bringing together importers, for instance, to learn from each other. We wholeheartedly believe in the peer-to-peer learning exchange. So if one company's doing it, maybe I can learn from them, and maybe they'll share their mistakes, and I don't have to make them again. So we are definitely trying to bring local groups together. We're bringing importers together, compliance officers, international HR professionals, women in supply chain, the next gen. I can't forget the next gen. Our generation following us that are going to be leaders in this community.
Quite a few moving pieces within the organization. The organization prides themselves on the fact they provide practical, real-world training, especially by utilizing the Rocky Mountain Institute. Education, regardless of exporting or importing goods, this is what they're bound to find.
Absolutely. We've actually trained over 30,000 people in international business and since our existence, and we continue to have really a very strong program where we can offer a certificate of international trade if you take up to 48 hours of our classes, and then you'll be export-import ready So we're the local provider of education in the Rocky Mountain region. And what's been exciting is that we've also offered some things online, education online. And so people from all over the U.S. and even other countries are taking our classes.
That is interesting. I imagine the trade industry is one that is ever changing. You've been with it some time. It's important to keep people current, understanding what the compliance laws are, understanding what basically code classification is. All these are type of things that actually they're going to learn here.
Absolutely. I mean, these regulations change every day. So we put on about 70 events a year as an organization. And so at weekly, you'll find new programming on our site. And whether it's a class or a gathering or a roundtable, we host a lot of international visitors that come through the state. So we feature them as speakers as well.
I think what's unique about international trade compared to that of just local trade is basically understanding cross-cultural communication. That is something that, like you said, you kind of had a passion for as well as a formal training.
I do, actually. I was a former protocol officer for the state of Colorado as well, so I do have a passion for cross-cultural trade. And I think when you think of the word trade today, it's no longer about shipping goods in a container. It's really about collaborating across borders. It's about sharing an idea in the cloud. It's about traveling and training across borders. It's very different today. And so our World Trade Center here focuses on all aspects of international business, whether it's investment or trade or just trying to share ideas and collaborate on innovation, for instance.
Speaking of sharing ideas, that would take us to the second key service, which is Connect. Not only connecting members here locally, but also across a global network. There's some pretty powerful input when you get a lot of folks together like that.
You know, the World Trade Center, you may not know about the network. Most people think of the one in New York. It's our headquarters and still very active, but there are 330 World Trade Centers in 100 countries. And so members of the World Trade Center Denver can take advantage of the World Trade Centers around the globe and access their member services as well. Sometimes they'll offer hotel access at a discounted rate or even conference space or trade services like we do here in Denver.
You had mentioned before conferences, seminars, roundtable discussions, many times person-to-person interaction. What about utilizing technology when it comes to video conferencing or that type of thing?
We've actually had one conference where we video conferenced 4 countries at one time. And so while you were walking into the breakout session to talk about Germany, you were actually talking to Germany. Same with Holland and the UK and the Netherlands and France. So.
That is incredible. The third key service is that of Inform. Informing your members of resources that are available to them, informing them of the latest news that may affect them. Many times just informing them of success of other members has to be a great motivation.
Absolutely. That's why we believe in the peer-to-peer learning. But we also offer a regular newsletter, and we have a number of database tools that we subscribe to on behalf of our members. So research, we can help them with their market research and other things that they need to know, like you said, changing compliance laws and others. So we absolutely believe in the information aspect of our job as well. We're like if you think of us like a chamber of commerce for international business, that's probably the best way to think about it. Yeah.
That is pretty amazing. Obviously, as a business today, regardless of the economy, for a business to produce a successful and thriving company, we pretty much need all the help we can get. And that leads us to the last piece, which is an advocate for these businesses. Share with me a little bit about that.
We focus on laws that at the federal level, the state level, just to make sure that they're not hindering trade. And one of the things that might not be thought of is like a buy local campaign. Even though we're located temporarily in a manufacturing plant, we love local manufacturers and we support them in growing their sales. We want manufacturers to be able to buy products where they need to buy them at the best price they can find at the best quality. Sometimes those are imported products. And if that's the case, we want to help them get them here. That does not mean we're not supporting local manufacturers. It is exactly the opposite. We want to give them the flexibility to source where they source so that they can be successful here locally. And sometimes that doesn't get across with a legislator who wants to run on a buy local campaign. It's a short-sighted view of we are a global system. people buy things from everywhere. Everything I'm wearing is probably not from here. And so we don't want to hinder access to that market.
So very important to be an advocate there, basically apprising your members of what policies are out there, what's at stake, and yet at the same time positioning the region to be in a good position globally and across the country as well as the world.
Yes, absolutely. We hope we've been around for 29, 30 years, and we hope to be around for another 30. I think with our campus, it's going to be a visual footprint for international visitors to know exactly where to stop once they get off of the DIA train. They're going to see the World Trade Center from that train. They'll find assistance there. They will be able to plug into our local economy, and then it'll also be a local gathering place, a destination point for Denverites to get great sushi and all the international cuisine you can imagine. So I really think it's something. It's a legacy project for Denver, and I'm very proud to be part of it.
And we're very proud to introduce it while it's still in the visionary stage. Viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. First of all, on the website, you're going to learn a little bit more about the company here that began back in 1987. Basically, we're going through a lot of changes here. We thought it'd be interesting to come on down and introduce what all is going to take place as well as what's going to happen in the future. You can also take a look on the website there and take a look at the events calendar. They are hosting many events throughout the year that basically not only the international market can learn from, but businesses that are local basically learn quite a few key points in business. Let me ask you this. You had mentioned before that you got involved because of your passion and love for the culturals, basically global economy, this type of thing. Like you said, we're talking about offices, 300 plus offices across 100 countries. Is it rewarding for you still to be involved in this type of work?
My job doesn't feel like a job. It's a cause, and this is why I work countless hours, and we'll make our organization work in any site we're in, because it's the soul of the organization that really matters. But having a wonderful campus that allows us to expand that soul and really shine and really bring the community together on a regular basis, be the convener of this community, this international business community that is growing year over year. It's just such an exciting future for our organization.
This was an involvement that you began with when you were a student, really, and found the passion. What about other folks out there that basically think that they would like to be involved in this mission as well?
We absolutely want to engage the next generation. We have a next gen group, and we also have a very strong intern program that gives interns hands-on international business experience with a real project, not administrative in nature, but a real project that they really support our office. So interns basically double our staff, and we use them as staff.
That is amazing and a great opportunity to be involved.
Absolutely. They also get to pursue their certificate of international trade for free. So it's a great perk for both.
Fantastic. Last time, viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen. You're going to see their contact information right there. Also on the website, you can take a look at the social media tabs. They will keep you apprised of all the changes they have going on, what's going to be coming up. This is an organization that found its roots here in Denver, Colorado back in 1987. Basically, your involvement with the World Trade Center is key to your international success. That's the World Trade Center, Denver. We grow trade. This is Gary Atanu with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.